Good morning to everyone. This is Bala Murugan. I'm Assistant Commander in CRPF. I'm here to discuss about the Good Morning Test on April 21, 2020. I will give the small introduction about the what is Good Morning Test. The Good Morning Test is shortly named called as the GMT. The GMT, which has the comprises of the 10 questions, out of which 9 questions have been asked from the current affairs which appeared on that particular date newspaper, and one question from is asked from the previous year question paper. You need to have out of this GMT question paper framing we need to emphasize the two important things. You need to have the current affairs, you need to have the idea about current affairs, and also you need to go through the previous year question papers regularly. So through the regular following of the GMT test, you can attain the ability of the question paper solving along with the consciousness of the current affairs on that particular date. We will regularly discuss the 10 questions in the manner of UPSC, which almost covers the areas, the schemes or e-government initiatives or any of the protected territory, any specific news or international organization or index, what are all the important parameters or significance which can be asked for the UPSC, we will discuss in this particular GMT test. And second part of the GMT test is called as the DAS, that is daily answer writing session. The daily answer writing session, which is intended to develop the comprehensive ability and drafting skill of the students. So there are two questions you need to answer. First one questions from the current affairs and another questions you need to answer from the conventional area. If you follow regularly, if you religiously followed the GMT test, definitely you will realize the what kind of the personality mold will be attained by you over the period of the regular practice. Particularly it will make effect on only after the 3 or 4 months of the regular following. So I kindly request everyone should follow the GMT test regularly, and you have to write the daily answer writing session in a regular basis. So we will move on to the discussion. So this is small introduction about me. This is me, Mr. N. Balamurugan, Assistant Commander in CRPF. That's already I told that. And this is first question which deals with the blazer emission mechanism. There are three words are there. One is the blazer and emission mechanism. The emission mechanism in the sense, it's a general term. It can be emit from anywhere. But if you know about the what is blazer in this sense, you will come to the answer for it. So before we get into the discuss about the answer, we need to know about the what is black hole, and second is what is blazer. This is the new term that we occur in the industrial. You are more familiar with them, and volcanoes and earthquake. You are more familiar with these terms. These two terms, which seems to be so new to some of the aspirant. So I will explain first what is black hole and then what is the blazer. So as far as the black hole is concerned, you need to have the I will make a small kind of easier definition. You need to have the certain assumption to understand the what is the black hole. So first of all, you should assume that this is the bed sheet. It is holded by the 4 person at the 4 corners, something like this. You should assume that the 4 person all the way. This is once again I told that you should assume that this is the bed sheet. It is held by the 4 people at the 4 corners. If in this bed sheet, if you throw out any of the fruits which has the large mass, which may be a jackfruit or watermelon, something like that, which is larger in size, which has the huge mass. If you put it on this center of the bed sheet, it will make certain kind of depression on this particular bed sheet, right? Its depression is depending upon the how much mass of that particular fruit have. So if you take another fruit which is relatively lesser mass than this jackfruit or jackfruit or watermelon, which may be our mm, which may be our amla, which is nellika, or orange or apple or anything. You just assume that. So if you put on the any of the fruits on this shape, it will automatically move on towards the depression, right? I will explain once from the beginning. You just assume that the four persons holding the bed sheet. Now in the middle of the bed sheet, you will throw on the one of the jackfruit or the watermelon. It will make the depression on the center of the pot. It's depending upon the how much mass that particular fruit has, right? And second, you need to take any of the fruits which are vegetable, which are lesser in mass in comparison with the jackfruit or the watermelon. If you put it on in any of the side, which will automatically move towards the depression. This is the exactly happen on the black hole. The black holes is heavier masser in character. So if it mass is so huge, it make a huge depression on the space-time curve. Space-time curve. This is space-time curve. In that it makes the huge depression. Its mass, it will attract the all other adjacent elements, that is star or planet or asteroid or stellar or anything or any debris which will attract towards them, towards that particular black hole. So in that so much of gravitational attraction, there is no way of escape from the black hole. That is, even light has no capacity to escape from this particular black hole depressions. With keeping in mind this particular depression, before we get into that, you just see the definition. What is the black hole in the sense? It is a region of space-time. That is space-time. This you just assume that bedsheet is space-time curve, and where the gravity is so strong because its mass is huge, so it has a greater depression. So its gravity has a capacity to pull all the particles which surrounds or adjoin within the capacity of the attraction. So and it has even such as light or electromagnetic radiation has no way to escape from the black hole. This is what the definition. So space-time curve in the sense is, if you want to identify the one particular person, you can identify as a 3D-dimensional y, x, z, right? So if you want to exactly where the particular product or person is located, you need to identify the 3D plus time. So it's you can stand, the particular person is standard here and 4:45 p.m. and 4:45 8 a.m. he is standard here, and 4:50 p.m. that particular person standard here. In the sense, so if you want to exactly locate the person, you need to identify space, that is a 3D dimension of that particular person or any of the product or material, along with the time. So this is what space-time curvature. In this space-time curvature, it makes the depression. This is what the black hole. So then we will come into the discussion about the blazar. So I hope everyone understand about the black hole through this example. So in the black hole is a region of space-time where the gravity is so strong and that nothing, no particles or even electromagnetic radiation such as light can escape from it. So we are very clear that on the fact that in the black hole gravity is so high. In that, gravitational energy is converted into light energy. Apart from the light, in the sense, certain percentage of the emitted material, that is called as jets, at the speed of the light, it traveled from the ACD, acute galactic nuclei. So this particular jet is come to the observer limit of light. Observer limit. So in this observer limit, we can through the analysis nature and characteristics of the jets, which will be helpful for the knowing the gravitational waves character. Such kind of the such kind of the emission, that is the jets. We will move on to next question. The second question, which deals with the National Vaccination Task Force. Normally, the Union government formed the Vaccination Task Force to develop the vaccination to counterback any of the pathogens, which may be virus or bacteria. We are very familiar with the fact that this is the time of coronavirus. How will you find out the person which is affected with the coronavirus or not? It can be done by two type of test. One is antibodies test. Second one is reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction test. This antibodies test, we need to consider the two type of factor. One is antigen and second one is antibodies. So in this case, the antigen is very clear. We all know that coronavirus is the virus, is the antigen. If one person is affected with the coronavirus, his body, his immune system will develop the antibodies to counterback or attack the coronavirus. So if you take the blood sample from the person who are affected with the coronavirus, his blood sample has developed the antibodies to counterback to the coronavirus, we can find out that he is positive. Whether the person is affected with the coronavirus, but his immune system does not capable enough to promote the antibodies to counter the coronavirus, and at the same time it does not produce any antibody, in the sense will be negative. In that case, we are checking only antibodies presence in the blood serum. We are not at all dealing with the virus, that is antigen. So in this antibodies test, we will find out the person, the person which has the coronavirus impact, which has been affected by coronavirus, and at the same time his immune system should develop the certain kind of antibodies to counterback to the coronavirus. If you take the second test, that is reverse transcription test, the coronavirus, we are very well known that it is composed of RNA sequencing. It is infiltrate into the cell and take the control of the particular cell and use the particular host cell as a virus producing factories. So if you want to find out the if you want to conduct the polymerase chain reaction test, that should be in the DNA form of GNA sequencing, but the coronavirus has the RNA form of DNA sequencing. So that's why we need to change the pattern from RNA to the DNA. This kind of the process is called as a reverse transcription. Once we change into the DNA sequencing, then we will subject to the polymerase chain reaction test. Then we will find out the particular person is affected by coronavirus or not. So here we are checking only antigen, that is virus. Here we not at all deal with the antibodies. Here we deal with only antigens. So there are the two kind of tests. We are very well known that antibody and antibody test and reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction tests. In the antibody test, we check only antibodies, whether the particular person immune system has developed the antibodies to counterback to the coronavirus. If you take the blood serum of that particular person, if the blood serum has antibodies to counterback to the coronavirus, that particular person is considered to be positive, otherwise he is negative. So and in the antibodies test, we are checking only antibodies. The reverse transcription polymerase, in the first term, which in the reverse transcription, we need to transcript from the RNA to the DNA. That process is called reverse transcription. Once if we change the pattern of genome sequencing into DNA, we will subject to the polymerase chain reaction test. Then we can come to the conclusion that whether particular person is affected with the coronavirus or not. So we are very clear about that. It's all deal with the genome sequencing. Once we find out the genome sequencing, then only we can move for nature of virus and the characteristics of virus and where it is originated. Then only we can move toward the diagnostics method. diagnostic method, drug or vaccination promotion or anything. So if you want to find out the diagnosis method, which may be a vaccination or a drug promotion in the sense, you need to research on biological research, that is genome sequencing. So it definitely it needs to be dealt with the Department of Biotechnology. So as far as the National Vaccination Task Force is concerned for the coronavirus, so the Department of Biotechnology will act as the nodal agency to identify the pathway for the vaccination development. So for second statement is obviously correct. First statement is a little bit of factual information. It's not at all deal with any of the specific explanation about the first statement. This is first statement is also here is correct. So here answer is both 1 and 2. So the task force will comprise of the four kind of the persons. One is Ministry of Ayush, and next one is Indian Council for Medical Research, and as we all know the Department of Biotechnology, and Drug Controller General of India. The four person is comprised of this task force, that is, and once again I repeat, Ministry of Ayush, Indian Council for Medical Research, and Department of Biotechnology, and Director Controller General of India. These four person comprises the National Vaccination Task Force. I hope everyone very clear about the idea about the National Vaccination Task Force. It's in this as far as the prelims aspect is concerned. This kind of the question is not a little bit significant as far as the mains aspect is concerned. This scope and analysis regarding vaccination promotion in the coronavirus is very important. Okay, we will move on to next question. The third question, which deals with New Development Bank. I don't know any kind of idea about the New Development Bank. If you assume in that way, just to see the three statement. The NDB is a multilateral bank which is operated by the Asian states. First statement. And second, India is the founding member of this bank. And third is it is headquartered in the Shanghai, which is in China. So if the New Development Bank, all the three statements are collectively concerned, if you consider all the statements collectively, so if the first statement Asian is true, it should be a member of India and the China. Then only we can move with all the three statements are correct. If you take the basic information about the Asian state membership, you can easily find out through these mnemonics and the BPL TV. Mimics, just assume that. So in this BPL TV, it's familiar for 90s kids. So it is easily to recollect the member nations of the Asian states. B for Brunei, and P for Philippines, L for Laos, T for Thailand, and V for Vietnam, M for Myanmar, I for Indonesia, and M for Malaysia, C for Cambodia, and S for Singapore. So in this, out of the 10 nations, there is no place for India and China. So if we take the basic information of Asian states, whether it will be the first question is correct, 2 and 3 is wrong. If 2 and 3 is correct, first statement will be the wrong. So we can eliminate the two options and C and D. So whether answer will be 1 only or 2 and 3. And the second condition, if you take, it should be the member of India and China, right? So the famous international organization which comprises of India and China is, one is BRICS and another one is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Collectively is as far as the regional grouping is concerned, and our international organization. Otherwise the trade related aspects are many are there. So there is something like East Asia Summit, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or ASEAN +6, something like these are all the trade related aspect. It's not at all deal with the here. So the SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, mainly deal with the security aspect. So it has the companies of Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, China, India, Pakistan. So it's mostly deal with the security aspect. So more or less the more factor which is familiar or aligned with the factor of bank formation is BRICS. The BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. So yes, this is a new development bank. As far as new development bank is concerned, it's developed by the BRICS nations, which is formed at the 6th summit of the BRICS summit at the Fortaleza. In this new development bank, it's headquartered in Chennai. So it's not a 1 is not answer. So answer is the B, Bombay. 2 and 3 only. So 20% stakeholders can hold by the India. So very basic information about the new development bank. New development bank is formed by multilateral development bank operated by the BRICS nations. It has been set up at the 6th summit of BRICS at the Fortaleza. And in India, 20% of in the new development stakehold in this whole statement, India hold the 20%, and it mobilizes the resources for the infrastructure and sustainable developmental aspect of these countries. Its headquarters is situated in the Shanghai. So answer is and 2 and 3 only. Answer is Bombay. So I hope everyone will have idea about new development bank. I hope we will move on to next questions. Dabruja Bridge is constructed over the which of the following areas? Right? Every year there will be one question from the drainage system. So you should very clear about the India's drainage system. You can openly challenge that if you take the last 5-year UPSC question, definitely there will be one question from the drainage system. This is open-ended questions. It's no twister there. The answer is the Subansiri River. So Dabruja Bridge is why it is asked in this GMT test, and it is constructed over the Subansiri River. It's a tributary of Brahmaputra. Okay, another significant event, it flows through Arunachal Pradesh. This bridge is very important for the connection line, the line of actual control. So it is considered to be a strategically important line of communication. Strategically important for line of communication. So in this aspect, this work on the Dabruja Bridge has not yet suspended, even though in this COVID-19 lockdown. So this is why this question has been asked in the GMT test. Very clear. The Subansiri River is tributary of Brahmaputra. It flows in the Arunachal Pradesh. The Dabruja Bridge is constructed over the Subansiri Bridge, which makes a connection between the kind of flows through the line of actual control between the India and China. So it is considered to be strategically important line of communication. So its work is not suspended even in the COVID-19 lockdown. So that's why we are asking these particular questions. These are all the important information about the Dabruja Bridge. The bridge is constructed by the border road organizations. So we need to know about the basic information about the border road organization. Go and work on them, and we will move on to next question. Right? I hope everyone have a little bit idea about Subansiri River and the Dabruja Bridge. Okay, and the fifth question, which deals with the World Steel Association. So if World Steel Association, in this sense, it's an international platform, because it has the word of World Steel Association. So the very first statement, which it is an international trade body, first thing, and it is a NPO, non-profit organization. The second information, and the third for the iron and steel industry, established in the 1967. These are all the factual information. Just leave it. Whether if you know or confirm with this particular fact, then only you can answer. Otherwise, we want to touch this particular statement. But we will know about what is the significance of this particular organization, why this particular organization question is asked. So here is the out of total percentage, 85% of the total steel production comes from the World Steel Association. Okay, in which any of the, since it, as per the second statement is concerned, the companies are establishment at least 2 million tons of the steel production to become 2 million tons of steel production to become a member of World Steel Association. World Steel Association. So second statement is correct. First statement is also correct. Here is the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Okay, so this is basic information about the World Steel Association. The World Steel Association forecast the steel demand would be contract by the 7.7%. This is the news. That's why we are asking about this particular organization. You just keep in mind every year definitely there will be one question from the international institutional mechanism which has the purpose of the globally significant scenario. In this aspect we can confine the thing in the, we can categorize the international groupings in the many ways. First example, if you take the United Nations and United Nations specialized agencies, or economically important trade related aspect, or strategical or security purpose of international organization, or any of the environmentally so significant character which has a number of roles in the work of the environmental conservation. In this aspect definitely there will be one question from the international organization. So in this scenario always we have to keep in mind while reading newspaper, if you come across any of the international institution, you need to go work on them and about that particular institution. That's why here we are asking about the World Steel Association. It is located in the Brussels, Belgium. These are all the basic information about the World Steel Association. So very simple, World Steel Association is situated in the Brussels, Belgium. It is an international body which deals with the iron and steel industry promotion. 85% of the global steel production came from the members of the World Steel Association. If one commercial enterprise want to become a member of the World Steel Association, it need to have the production capacity of the 2 million tons of the steel. Okay, so I hope everyone will have idea about the World Steel Association. Now we have completed 50% of the GMT test, and you will have a very clear idea about the first 5 questions, that is Blizzard, emission mechanism, and National Vaccination Task Force, and Dobruja Bridge, and this World Steel Association, and the New Development Bank. We will move on the next part of the GMT and consider the following statement with respect to Indian Strategic Petroleum Resource Limited. So the word indicates that Strategic Petroleum Resource indicated. Very simple in the sense why it is in the news. Now the oil price is very getting lower due to the demand and supply mismatch. So India is a great oil importer. We are very well known that. So the situation is actually beneficial for oil importers. If importers, it's less import which occur on the less cost, which will be helpful for the reduction in the current account deficit. So the Union government always intended to reduce the import, and otherwise they want to procure the oil at the low cost, which will be beneficial for government. So in this aspect, India has decided to strategic petroleum reserve at is Visakhapatnam and Visakhapatnam, Mangaluru, and the Padur. In these 3 regions, government has planned to set up the 3 strategic petroleum reserves. It is constructed by it is wholly owned by subsidiary of ONGC. No, it is actually, second statement is wrong. It is actually whole purpose owned by the subsidiary of Oil Industries and the Development Board. Oil Industries and Development Board, not a ONGC. So second statement is incorrect. So answer is 1 only. Okay, answer is 1 only. So I just brush up this particular sixth question. India Strategic Petroleum Reserves Limited intended to the construction and management of the strategic crude oil storage facilities at Visakhapatnam, Mangalore and Padur. In order to use or get the advantage of the situation, the oil prices is getting very lower due to demand and supply mismatch. So this situation is beneficial for the oil importer. If the oil import is getting reduced, it will be helpful for reduce the current account deficit. This particular resource is wholly owned by subsidiary of Oil Industries Development Board, not a ONGC. So answer is one only, not second statement is correct. Third statement, the seventh question is concerned. It's about the e-government initiative. Always you need to keep in mind, definitely there will be one question from e-government initiative in order to increase the efficiency of public service delivery. So in this aspect, GMT test focused on always on the one e-government initiatives. If you take any e-government, we need to know the two important aspects. One is what is the purpose of the particular e-government initiatives, who is the beneficiaries, and second is which ministry or which institutional mechanism developed this particular initiative. These the two interpretations that you need to have. So this particular e-government initiative may have changed day by day, or you can in any of the e-government initiatives, but you should keep in mind two kind of interpretation that needs to interpret that particular e-government initiatives. So in this aspect, first statement, to enhance the capacity building of frontline workers to handle the pandemic efficiently. The pandemic means COVID-19 impact. Frontline workers for medicinal or sanitary workers. It's this particular initiatives is launched by Ministry of HRD and Diksha Portal, not the Center for Development of Advanced Computing. So it is launched by Ministry of HRD, Diksha Portal, not a Center for Advanced Computing. So answer for this question is one only. Eighth question, which deals with the sodium hypochlorite. It may seems to be the chemical related question, but this question is purely related to the current affairs. This is disinfectant, which is used for the surface cleaning or odor removal or any of the cleaning purposes. Such kind of the disinfectant is sprinkled or sprinkled on the people of the Uttar Pradesh. They will simply sit down on the road and they will spray this sodium hypochlorite disinfect towards the body of the particular citizens of India. In this aspect, many of the people has condemned this incident. So that's why these particular questions has been asked. The sodium hypochlorite is not at all deal with the tackling the coronavirus impact. If you fully vetted with the sodium hypochlorite, is not at all confirmed yet. It will keep away the COVID-19, that is coronavirus. So and moreover, it make a huge impact on the skin of the particular person and will also affect the person psychologically. So in this aspect, this particular questions has been asked. So first statement, which deals with it cannot be harmful for the human skin. No. So it will affect the skin. So first statement is wrong. It can affect the human skin, and it is commonly used as a water disinfectant. This is correct. So we already I discussed it will be used for surface cleaning or water disinfectant. Water disinfectant in the sense. So this particular eighth question is answer. First statement is wrong, second statement is correct. So answer is 2 only. Clear? So the ninth question, which deals with the Melaghat Tiger Reserve, every year definitely there will be one question from the protected area network. So always we keep in mind every protected area network is very, very important. And as far as the protected area network is concerned, we need to have the interpretation of any of the drainage which is nearby the particular area. What is the physiography significant of this particular protected area network area? Any species significance of that particular protected area, and which state is located. These are the four information we need to have all the protected area network. In this, the Melaghat Tiger Reserve is belonged to which of the following the state? Its answer is Maharashtra. Why it is asked in the sense here in this sloth bear is affected by the disease of Lewistic, which means that loss of pigmentation. We are very well known fact of the loss of melanin, that is albinism. The person who doesn't have any of the melanin component in his body, he will be in white skin. It is called as the albinism like disease. In this aspect, sloth bear has the loss of pigmentation disease, that is Lewistic. In the sloth bear, in this particular protected area network is affected with the disease of Lewistic, that is loss of pigmentation. That's why this particular protected area question is asked. In the last 5 years, only one Gujarat sloth bear is affected with this disease. Now another sloth bear is affected with this particular disease. That's why we are asking this question. Melaghat Tiger Reserve is situated in the Maharashtra. So we have completed the 90% of the good morning test, and I hope everyone will very clear idea about these 9 topics. Next we will move on to the UPSC previous year question, that is Bodhisattva Padmapani. First question, this is all more factual information. Bodhisattva Padmapani painting is located at the Ajanta cave number 1. Answer is Ajanta. What is two terms, the Bodhisattva and Padmapani? So the Bodhisattva and the person who is in the need of attaining nirvana or enlightenment in the line of Buddha, he is called as a Bodhisattva. Padmapani, Padma means lotus. So this particular is deal with the painting. So this painting is very famous in the Ajanta cave painting. This is that particular painting. The person is holded with the lotus, first thing. That's why it is called as Padmapani. Padma means lotus, and he is owned crown. This Bodhisattva has the crown, and next it has the large shoulders and slightly bended, 3 bended posture of the Padmapani painting. So these are all the significant and the importance of this particular painting. So first one is lotus, Padmapani, and second one is crown, third one is large shoulders, and 3 bended position of this Bodhisattva. This is what information about the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva Padmapani. Okay, which is situated in the Ajanta caves at Maharashtra. So very clear, it is the interior hall, cave number 1 of the Ajanta caves, and it's holding Padma, that is lotus, and the large shoulders we see, and has the 3 bend in his body. The picture modeling is soft, wearing the big crown in which detailed rendering is visible. Clear? Okay. Now we have completed the daily good morning test of 21st April 2020. So I hope everyone have a clear idea about all the 10 topics of the today good morning test. So if you have any doubt, you will keep mail me on the balaaspirant@gmail.com. Otherwise tag as a good morning test and mail to the kingmaker IAS academy@gmail.com. So I am kindly request you to follow the these good morning test discussions regularly and keep practicing. All the best.